Hey everyone, and welcome to A Couple of Apes. On this podcast, I talk to people who love the work they do. You know, unlike the majority of the population, we spend a third of our life at our jobs. And why are you gonna go ahead and do something you hate? It's outrageous. So normally I record this part, and I did record this part while the guest is sitting with me, but I had to record this separately and cut and paste this in because I need to give you a couple heads up. All right, I don't even know if these things are noticeable to someone other than me, but I'm working on editing this episode right now, and oh boy. So Charlotte was lovely. She was amazing. I was so tired this morning. My voice is like all gravelly. So if I come off as like blah at all, I just wanted you all to know that. Also, in addition to that, I didn't hit the proper record button when I started, so the image and audio quality is going to be a little bit just slightly worse in the beginning. It's nothing catastrophic, but I mean, good Lord, I should be fired for this. Luckily, it's my podcast, so that can't happen. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this conversation with Charlotte. Today, I'm talking to Charlotte McKinley, and I'm excited to get into this. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Where are you based out of? You're in New York City?
Yes, I'm based in New York City.
Awesome. So we're doing this at 10:30 in the morning. Are you an early bird, or are you like struggling right now?
Well, 10:30 is pretty good. I wake
Yeah.
up from 7:30 to 9 a.m. So,
Okay. Okay, so you're good. That's about what I shoot for too.
but I like the nightlife.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're in New York City. Like, you can't miss out on that.
Yeah.
It's bumping all the time there.
Yeah, my natural brain just stays up.
That's kind of how I am. I have to force myself to go to sleep every night. No matter how tired I am, my brain is just like, nah, we're good.
Yeah, me too.
Let's jump right in. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What are some basics about you to paint a picture for everyone listening?
So basically, I moved to New York City to become a performer. So I'm a professional dancer and working on my singing and acting for Broadway. I go to a lot of the Broadway calls and I have a lot of friends that are on Broadway and such, and that's my focus right now. I do a lot of commercial work as well. Yeah, I used to be a Knicks City dancer for the basketball team. I
That's
just
fantastic.
the Met Gala. I just performed at the Met Gala. Performed with this drag queen, Alaska Thunder F. I'm not gonna say that's her. And then which is crazy. One of my friend's sister was on The Voice this season on Ariana Grande's team, and she made it to the lives. And well, The Voice is over now, obviously, but I got to do her visual album that she's presenting to all of the record labels, and Ariana Grande watched it, and one of her second songs comes out today, and the visual for it comes out today. So that's exciting.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm basically an artist in New York City. I'm also a real estate agent as my side gig because it's the most flexible thing and it's kind of fun. But I obviously would rather be in a rehearsal, but it's much better than a lot of the other side gigs that I just try to do things that are efficient and make sense for who I am as a person. So I do real estate as well. So if anyone moves to New York City and you need a place, I've got you. And I'm really fast at the process because I know there's this chunk of time that I use for real estate, and then I also have to train and do everything at the same time. I'm from Austin, Texas. I'm biracial, which is very unique. So my mom is white and my dad is black. So I feel like I have a very open mind. I don't know, that helps. I just feel like my upbringing helped me be very open to just different, I guess.
Right.
I am very, very outgoing. People say I'm like the most outgoing person they've ever met. I don't know how to be shy. My mom is very shy, and all of my best friends are shy, and all of the people I've never had a boyfriend, but people that I've dated, they're all pretty shy, and the people that I'm interested in are pretty shy. So I love shy people.
I feel like that was a very good summary of who you are. I'm very interested in this being attracted in every way to shy people. I wonder what that is.
I have no idea because I don't even realize until like I know that person really well that they're actually shy. Like even when I was on the Knicks dance team, there was like certain girls that I was like drawn to that I wanted to be friends with, and they were the quietest on the team. And my best friend is really shy.
Huh.
Just the thing.
Maybe you want everyone around you to be calm so they won't steal the spotlight.
You know, a lot of quiet people they're superstars as well. I think we're all superstars, but like my friend Sarah Isabel, she's a superstar, but she's really quiet. Maybe it's just I think it's the opposites attract for sure
Hmm.
because I only have a few friends that are as outgoing as I am. So maybe it's the opposite situation and it's a balance. Maybe it's balance. It's probably that.
That's true. That's true. Counteracts your energy a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about literally everything you just said, but in particular the Knicks thing. How did that happen?
It's actually really funny because I'm just especially when I first moved here I moved to New York City when I was 18 and then I graduated college at 19 and then I started working right away. So I didn't really know exactly I also who I am as a person, I just really just like want to be hands on. I want to sing, I want to act, I want to dance, I want to do everything. And I wasn't really specific about my goals. I had things that I wanted to do, but not like I wasn't like, this is what I need to do. I just am open to everything. So I had worked at Disney World and the Norwegian Cruise Line, which is how I've traveled to so many places. Those were my first two jobs. And then I was in the city and I did a training program. And I just was like open to any and every opportunity. And I would train in like what are they called? Like intensives that help you like get signed with an agency or they're working choreographers. And it's just basically just to get better. It would be like a business conference, how to get better at. I can't correlate it to normal people job. um, there was this one lady who was like the head of the Brooklyn Nets, which is the other dance team actually, and she was telling me about the NBA dancing, and that was never really on my radar. I did make a list though, however, of things that I wanted to do, and I did put NBA dancing or I put Nick City dancers on there because I was looking up things like just like in New York City that you could do basically. And that was on my list actually. But it was the leader of the Brooklyn Nets dance team, and she was like, "You should come audition for the Brooklyn Nets." She said you should audition, and then so I signed up for the Knicks and the Nets training. So they have a training before the people come audition because it's very difficult. Um, the style or just the specifics of how NBA dancing is, it doesn't matter how great of a dancer you are, it's just very specific to NBA dancing because it's an arena and it's a team. So you guys all have to be cohesive and learn how to mesh well. And it just takes a different skill set that I had to learn. So I went to both of them. I actually wanted the Brooklyn Nets. I felt more drawn to the Brooklyn Nets actually, but the Knicks dance team came first, and it wasn't something I was like, oh my god, I like really want to do. Like, there's people that have been auditioning like 5 years, and they're like, that's what I want to do, especially if they're from New York or Brooklyn or New Jersey. Like, they're like, oh my god, an NBA dance team to represent my state in my city is amazing. So I just literally went to the Knicks audition and I wanted the Brooklyn Nets actually. It was very interesting. Like I knew after a certain point, like after like the third day, because it's a week audition, right? So it's very long. I was like, I knew that I'm gonna make it after a certain point. I was like, for some reason I just feel it, and then I just made it. So yeah, I just auditioned. I was like, all right, I'll see what
Just
happens.
went for it.
It
That's
was eight.
fantastic.
It's
That
fun.
must have been so frustrating to the people that have been waiting to get on there forever.
Well, they didn't know. It's not like they knew that I just was like, oh, let me show up. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Were you a basketball fan at all, or was just interested in the dance?
I still didn't even when I was on the sidelines, I would play Would You Rather with my friends, and I only know LeBron James and Steph Curry, and now I know RJ Barrett, and then Alonzo Trier, and like I just don't know. I don't do sports. My mom's obsessed with football, the Saints. I don't. I would rather go watch a play. I would rather go watch a movie. It's boring, except volleyball. I love volleyball. So no,
Volleyball.
I always go off on tangents.
That is ideal for podcasts. Tangents are fantastic. But less work I have to do, you just take it away. You got it. That's very cool. I don't think I've ever met someone that's danced for a sports team before. It's a very unique job. There aren't that many people that do that, I wouldn't think, out of all the people in the world.
Yeah, no.
All right, so how long have you been doing this work for? So, well, first, do you do acting too, or are you mostly focused on dancing?
Well, I've been dancing since I was 4. So just recently in the past year and a half or 2 years, kind of, because 2020 didn't really count. I have been focused on Broadway, getting that Broadway show, just because I just want to be in a live audience. And every time I go to a Broadway show, I'm changed. And it's consistent job in New York City, which is, I'm just obsessed. I'm just obsessed with telling stories. So basically, I right now am actually focusing more on singing and acting because the dancing is already there. So when I go into the calls, my dancing gets me there, and then the singing is what will get you the job. The singing and the acting will get the person.
Right. Yeah. So you got the dancing covered already.
Yeah. So I do commercial work as well. Like I've done things on TV. That's actually mostly what I get hired for because it's harder to get into theater because there's less ensemble jobs than there are like commercial jobs, if that makes sense. Because they're longer contracts, maybe. So right now, focused on singing and acting.
Very versatile. It's fantastic, though. No, I love that. I've always been acting in particular. I've never tried. These are my dance moves. This is what I got for dancing. Yep, it's good, right? And then singing, we're not even gonna attempt that. But acting, I'm very interested in acting. I always think that seems like such a fun job to do.
Yeah, because you're just living, basically, somebody else's life.
Right.
But truthfully in how you would perceive that, if that makes sense. Living truthfully under imaginary circumstances. That's what it is.
There you go. I like that. I'm going to quote you on that. Was that yours, or did you steal that from someone?
Acting teacher in college.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to quote you on that now. How long have you been doing this for now? I know you said you've been dancing forever, but as far as like professionally.
I got my first job at 19.
Wow.
5 years.
Yeah. How did you land on that? What pushed you towards this?
To pursuing art.
Yeah.
Nothing. I just, probably when I was in 3rd grade, I saw Wicked here. And I said, Mom, I'm going to do that. And I was like, I literally entered high school and I was like, hi, family. Like, I'm sorry if my grades are not going to be very good, but I'm dancing in college, so I'll just make sure I pass. I literally said, I'm moving to New York when I'm 18, just letting y'all know. I said that to my mom and dad. I said, I'm moving. There's no option, so it's going to happen.
I love it. I love it.
There's nothing, I'm simply not interested in anything else. I absolutely could not, like, I would get fired from any other job. I'm surprised I'm still in real estate. I just literally simply would get fired. I would be bored. Mm-hmm. I would not put in effort because I'm bored and I have no interest. Like the reason why I can do real estate is because that is what's paying the bills in between my gigs, and it's flexible that allows me to do and it's like more exciting than something else.
Yeah, there's more variety. You don't know who you're going to be interacting with, where you're going, that sort of thing. I guess that would probably help with someone like you and me. I mean, I can relate to everything you're saying, and I can say firsthand, if you get a job you don't like and you get really bored because it's not creative enough, they will fire you.
I know, like I just would be fired. So, and I don't like school. I hate
school.
My mom's a teacher, and I hate it. I literally liked school for my friends, for sports, and for arts. But thank God I went to a fine arts school. So they were very open. And they had like fashion. So I got to sing, dance, act, play volleyball at school. So I had fun in high school and all the academics. I was literally doing dance steps in my head in class and I was trying to pay attention. So I had to sit front row so that I would pay attention. Like I'd be like, teacher, I need to sit front row and I need to eat. Like if food wasn't allowed, I was like, I need to eat. I have dance afters. So I'd be like, I have to eat. Thank you. So I didn't like school. I couldn't do a 4 year. I couldn't even do a 4 year college. That wasn't for me. So boredom and just simply my interests.
Well, I think it's good for people to hear because you're obviously doing well. You're doing so many different things at once. I think it's great for people, especially if there are any younger listeners, um, to hear that it's not the end of the world if you're not super in. They make schools seem like if you don't like ace high school, it's gonna mess you up for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's very silly. That's why I like Gary Vee.
Yes. Yeah. No, Gary's fantastic. I love the way I don't want to brag, but as a high school dropout, I love what Gary Vee talks about.
I met him actually at a Knicks game,
Oh, really?
and that's how I met D Rock actually because I went to like a conference thing. But yeah, I saw Gary Vee because he's always front row at the Knicks games, and I would the first time I saw him, I was like, oh my god, it's Gary Vee. And after I left the court, I was like, Gary, I literally love you so much. And he was like watching me dance. I was like, I love you so much. My name is Charlotte. And then I told one of the security guards after, I was like, hey, can you please just tell Gary that one of the Knicks dancers, Charlotte, the same one that said hi to him, really loves him, just says hi and thank you. Like that's all I needed, just the message to be sent. And he walked. It was after the game, so like everyone left, and so he walked across the court from where he was sitting and came all the way backstage and had a conversation with me.
Oh, that's
And
so nice.
he was so nice and very present, and looked me in the eye and just took me in, and I was like, I love him. He's great.
He's
And
fantastic.
I love kindness. It's great.
Yeah, he seems like such a genuine person. It's a shame that so many people, I'm assuming, get turned off by him in the beginning just because, he's loud and the swearing and all that. But I mean, he has to be true to himself. He can't put on a show for everyone, but he's just such a empathic. He just seems to genuinely want everyone to succeed in whatever way they want to succeed. And usually when someone's a business person, they don't have that quality. So I think it's awesome that he's held on to that through all of this. When did you decide that this is what you wanted to do? Like when you were a kid, was there a different job you wanted to do?
Mm-mm. So I've never had anything else. Probably since I've been just performing and stuff since I was little and just always wanted to be on stage. So
So
there's
even
been
like little, there was no like astronaut.
always superstar, nothing else. There was nothing else.
I love
Yeah.
it.
In third grade, I said I wanted to be on American Idol, but mainly because I wanted to be on stage.
Just been
So
always headed in this direction.
yeah,
A lot of us have trouble figuring out what we're gonna do. So
yeah, I'm blessed. 'Cause I do have a lot of friends that went to college and they still don't obviously know. But it's like I understand. I mean, I don't. I could understand. You know what I mean? Because it's like there's so many things. If you don't have that innate thing within you, then that could be difficult. Because you want to do what you like. At least you have to like your job. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because it's a lot of time in our life dedicated to that. So like you have to at least like it.
The statistic is it's about 90,000 hours that we spend working in our life, and I can't imagine doing anything I don't like for 90,000 hours. Yeah, I'm hoping through this podcast a lot more people will realize that you can follow your dreams. It's gonna be a little harder. I mean, just getting a 9 to 5 is a way easier route, but in the end, probably not gonna be as happy.
Yeah, like when you look back at your life, it probably won't be. And you do have to, because I do understand, especially as artists, like you do have to do what you have to do to get to where you want to go. So sometimes you have to do the things you don't want to get to where you want, like where I am. This is my first non-performing job, a real estate agent, because I was doing performing and that was helping me. And I would only ask my parents if I needed like something, but I obviously wasn't generating wealth or consistent. So I'm doing this because I know it's fueling to where eventually I want to go, where I don't have to do a non-performing job, and I'm just being booked, like whether it's modeling, acting, singing, dancing, just consistently. So I understand that you do have to do what you don't want to do to get to where you want to go. But as long as that second thing you're doing is fueling where you want to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, as long as there's an end goal in mind and you're not just stuck in this endless loop of I don't want to be here, but I'm going to keep being. Yeah, you need to have some sort of focus. What is the craziest thing that has happened to you at your job or in your personal life? Any weird stories?
Well, a lot of weird things happen to me, but I don't know. I can't think. What's like an example? I don't know. Embarrassing or something?
It could go either way.
I'm thinking of one, but I don't want to put someone's name on blast. I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
So that just occurred, and I'm not about to do that. Maybe a weird thing that's happened at like the Knicks. I fell the first 8 count that I was performing. So my first ever time on the New York Knicks court, I fell.
Oh no.
My first 8 counts. One, two, three, four, five, fell. Like, so that's pretty terrible.
How do you handle stuff like that? Do you handle embarrassment well?
I was more not as embarrassed, but more like I messed up the entire formation and the whole. I messed up and I didn't do my job correctly. So, but it was because I my foot got caught on someone else's tights. You just have to keep going. Like that's happened to me another time on the Knicks court actually, where because it's a live performance in front of 20,000 people, and I was actually sick at this game, and this was pre-corona though, but everyone was like out of this like cold or something, and I was like I still had to be there because there was no other swings left, which is a person that comes in if someone else is sick. Um, Someone else like covers their track or whatever. And literally my we had a dance that had stools, and I was like, let's just get this performance done. Like I need to go home. And I was in the front row and there were stools, and my friend kicked the stool, and I need the stool the whole time. So in the middle of it, I picked it up in the middle of the performance. Yeah. Weird things happen to me all the time because I live in New York City, but I can't think of one right now.
That's true. I know. Every time I've gone to New York City, something weird has happened.
And I attract like random weird things. Like my friend Sarah's always like, "Of course that would happen to you." Like it's just so random. The weirdest, random, amazing, or dumb things happen to me.
Amazing or dumb. I love it. This podcast is brought to you by Ape, which makes a whole lot of sense because I co-own Ape. So Ape is an all-natural and eco-friendly skincare company where we believe that the health of our customers and the health of the planet should always, always come before profit. Why wouldn't it? What is with these sketchy companies out there? We only make safe, natural, healthy, and eco-friendly products. So if you need any sort of skincare products, moisturizers, beard care products, bath and body products, we got soap, we got lip balm, we got all sorts of stuff going on. So head over to apebrand.co and you can find us at apebrand on social media. What drives you? What's your motivation, your inspiration? Do you have anything specific or just this general desire since childhood to pursue this?
Well, yeah, because the motivation's not always there. So I guess God is something that's always there for me, because obviously I'm not motivated all the time to go out and train all the time. Sometimes I get really annoyed, and sometimes your dancing becomes like a job, and I hate when it's like that. So then I have to take some time off or like a week just to not dance and do something that I love. But I don't know, for some reason there will never become a time where I don't want to pursue this. I don't see that in my future. Even when I have like children, I'll probably be like, if I'm not already, I'll probably already be really successful and be like, mom's booked for the weekend, so we're gonna have to stay. I don't know, but I don't feel like I'll ever quit. That's just something that's always inside of me. I don't know why, but yeah. So the driving, sometimes I'm not motivated, and I guess the habits and rest, honestly. So I don't know if that answered your question, but I always have this some sort of innate knowing of what I want to do in life. But God helps me.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, especially the rest and the breaks. It's nice to hear you say that sometimes when it gets too repetitive and it starts to feel too much like work, you take some time off because I do think all of us, I mean, even when you're following your dreams, there are going to be those days where you're like, I'm doing this again, and you just need to step back sometimes. Who are people you look up to, personal or professional? Is there anyone you aspire to be like?
Not aspire to be like, but I have mentors. But I aspire to make people feel how they make me feel, if that makes sense. Because it's not necessarily that I want to do what some of my mentors are doing necessarily, because I don't want to be a choreographer. And two of my mentors and people that I really go to for guidance, their names are Martha Nichols and Jessica Castro, and they're very well known in the dance industry and have done a lot of things. And they're best friends too. So it's like really weird that they happen to be really close as well. So it's just, yeah. So their messages help me with not only just dance and the industry, but how to navigate life a lot. So I sometimes ask the questions. I've just learned. I've been to like their training programs. I've taken their class. Like there's just been so much information that they've been really like a guiding light for so many young professionals. So those two for sure. So I would like to be like them in the aspect of making an impact, but not necessarily. I don't want to be a choreographer. Yeah. I like Zendaya. Her career is amazing. I would like to act as well. And I like her acting in Euphoria, and I like how she just seems really genuine. She's very versatile in what she does in her acting and in her, like, she does fashion and stuff like that. There's a lot of people like that out there though, but I just
Right.
like.
So you keep mentioning the acting. Is there any specific type of acting you're hoping to do? Like, is there a genre or anything that you're aiming for?
I really want to be in a binge-worthy young adult series that people like are obsessed with, like Gossip Girl and like Pretty Little Liars. I auditioned for that actually. They're doing a reboot. Um, yeah, so that's what I'd like to, and also just a feel-good movie.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that.
There's so many times where I like, especially like This Is Us or something like that, like something that's really impactful too. I would like to do that because it really, like, the way I feel after I watch This Is Us, I'm like, I just feel like being better in the world, and I cry. I'm just so emotional. Yeah, just because I know a lot of people go to entertainment for their therapy sometimes, even if sometimes it is an escapism and they're escaping from what they really need to deal with within themselves. But sometimes when they watch the show, it's like, okay, now I'm in tune and I'm clicked with something that I'm seeing, and now I feel not alone or something like that.
No, that's true. I couldn't agree more. I think film and TV in particular, it has a way of really reaching people. It's disarming, so I think it has a way of like sneaking in and reaching people with whatever messages are in the show or movie. I think it's because we go into it looking for entertainment, and we don't realize we're actually going to learn something in the process. So it's almost like a subliminal messaging sort of thing. But I do think it's a unique medium that can really potentially do a lot of good.
Yeah, and actually a lot of people, we know what's going on in the world based on the movies that are out, actually. Like, I actually recently learned, like, with racism and stuff, a lot of how people learn what's going on, they always go to movies, which is crazy. Or like the trans movement, like this documentary called Disclosure, they always point to movies as to what's going on in history, rather than just like the newspaper and stuff. Like, it's literally movies, which is crazy.
Yeah, there's just so much. I think a lot of people look at like actors, and first they think it's like an easy job because people look at people that make a lot of money, and then they're like, oh, look at them, not knowing that they're like, I don't know, Christian Bale's losing 80 pounds in like a month or whatever. But not only that, but they're not just people, putting on a show. They're genuinely changing people's lives, whether it's making them feel better when they're at their lowest point and they don't, someone today is watching a movie and they don't think they can go on any longer in life, and this movie's going to help cheer them up a little bit, and it could be the day that turns things around for them. Like, it's such, anytime, just art in general is just so powerful. I love it.
It's necessary for the world to turn on its axis, I think, for everyone to be sane, honestly.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to me too, because like even like earlier humans, cave paintings and early musical instruments is just something that's like deep rooted inside us for whatever reason.
Before we can even speak, you know.
Yeah.
And in the pandemic, what in the world would we do without Netflix and TikTok?
Die. We'd all die.
What in the world? Cook soup and sit? Like, literally.
Cook
That's what
soup.
cook soup and sit. Like, it's ridiculous.
It is. Yeah, I don't know how this would have gone if it was, yeah,
We,
80 years ago.
yeah. Or
I
like
guess.
the flu pandemic. Like, what the heck were they doing?
I mean, they're probably just cooking soup.
It's ridiculous.
Cooking soup. I'm going to remember that. Let's see, what else do I have? All right, so the next two are personal questions. If you're uncomfortable with them at all, you can just let me know, and I will cut out everything, including what I'm saying right now, so no one even knows. Have you had any mental or physical health issues that you had to push through to get where you are today?
For sure. Thank you to my mentors for helping me go through actually uncomfortable situations. Um, yeah, definitely not. And I'm still working on this actually, but I'm so much more better in a better place than like 2 years ago. Not, I don't know how to word it. Not understanding that I'm worthy of my greatness or something. Like, okay, scared of my potential and my greatness to step into like why am I scared of that? God gave me a light to do, like he believes in me, so why not? Why can't I just step into all that I am? And why am I holding back and not letting down my walls and being vulnerable, actually?
I think a lot of us struggle with that.
Yeah, afraid of our own greatness, which is weird. But maybe it has to do with some sort of probably dance teacher trauma of growing up in my dance studio. I love my dance studio growing up. It was insane. Like everyone's amazing, but I think that the underlying, this is just the dance scene in general. Like there's an unworthiness of like, even if you're at your best, it's like, you're still bad. And just that's in your brain. You're like, I'm not good at all. Like this,
Yeah.
it makes no sense because all these, and I would see my friends like go through that and be like, you're literally like stunning and you still think you're bad. But then I'm like, maybe that's like saying like we just all grew up in that. So I think it's just from childhood trauma of dance and how we're so hard on ourselves. But that's just the dance industry in general. It's like it's tough. it's so, it's so difficult unless you're in it. It's like hard to explain.
Based on movies, it looks like it's practically military training the way they treat you. Like, how rough is it?
It is. It's very. That's why I'm very disciplined though. Like I would always do my, even if I was bad at school, I would always turn in my homework because I'm so disciplined that you have to get the job done. So I always turn in my homework because of dance, and it helped me with everything I'm doing, especially real estate. I'm like, I can do real estate. Like if dancing's hard, like dancing's harder, or the industry and just what I've learned from it.
Right. You kind of touched on this before to a certain extent, saying when you take time off from dance. But for me, there are days, as an entrepreneur, business owner, podcast host, all these things I'm working on, there are days where it just seems like everything's going wrong. I'm just not feeling it. Things start to seem pointless and hopeless even some days. Do you have days like that? And what do you do to push through them?
Cry and just I just sit and cry. And I call my mom and complain. Straightforward. I need to work on me. That's what I do. I cry very often. I cry every week, actually, probably.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Not in the last 3 weeks. Because I've been like chilling. I've been more chill, actually. Also, I delete social media sometimes, like once a week, like for 3 days or so, if it's really annoying. Because the industry, you just see people on your timeline like, oh my God, they're getting booked and I'm not. But then it's like, oh, I just got booked. It's like, why is there timeline of that, And then you compare yourself without you realizing, managing or understanding my intentions on when I scroll through social media rather than just scrolling. Deleting social media can help me. I cry and going through it and just go through it and cry. That's what helps me. And I eventually like also spending time with my friends and just just spending time with friends actually helps me. Being around other people help me because I'm an extrovert, and that's how I get energy through others.
Right, right. So I'm real interested in this crying thing right now. Is it like you got a bunch of stuff bottled up that you're letting out, or you just overwhelmed? What is it for you usually?
It depends on the week. Also, sometimes I cry just watching like art too, so that doesn't really count as me like struggling. Like, I just cry in art a lot. Yeah, overwhelm, and sometimes even with real estate because there was a time actually like before in November I had to get a deal in because in order like I literally need one deal and that can pay my rent basically. So I needed a deal before I go home, but I also got a self-tape from my agent which was that needed to a self-tape is like how you audition nowadays because you can't go in person. So
Gotcha.
self tape and you have to rent out a studio. Or I'm thankful to live in a great building, so I can go. We have a children's room, which is like no children go there, so it's just like a it's just like an open room that has a background, and that's where I record my stuff. And it was like for a national tour, which I really want to go on for a Broadway show national tour. And I didn't realize how much information it was, and I had to get this deal done though, so I focused like a good 3 to 4 days on that, and I kind of waited till the last minute to do this. So I turned in the worst self tape ever, and I literally didn't turn one thing in. And then the casting was like, "Can you turn that in?" And so I just sent something in, and my voice was terrible. So I just was crying because I was like, I put real estate before performing, but if I don't pay my bills, I can't even be here to do that. So I cried about that because I was like, I'm taking away. I put real estate over performing, even though the reason why I came here was to perform. So it's just a weird balance. So that's why I cry a lot these days is the balance of what I'm supposed to do. And also, I'm very empathetic. So sometimes I even cry because, like, one time I was on the train and a woman was crying because it looked like she got her heart broken or something. And I started crying because I felt her energy. It's like I didn't mean to. So I just also the weight of the world. I just cry. I'm just very empathetic, and I don't without needing to. I don't just can feel a lot of energy, so I have to protect it.
I no, I'm the same. I'm the same exact way, especially with the empathy and getting emotion. I mean, I let's see, well, I've cried during every Pixar movie ever. Those movies are traumatic. But yeah, no, it is not rare for me to cry during a movie or something. Yeah, something that really gets you feeling in a the I can't believe I'm about to say this. The other day, a couple weeks ago, I went to the ocean for the first time in like 8 years. And I didn't cry, but I was like looking at it and taking it in and just looking at how beautiful it is and the waves are crashing. It's making me like relax and everything. There are birds flying and I got like really emotional and I don't know why.
No, I love the ocean. I would probably do that too. Oh, I understand that. No, I love the ocean. Like I don't. I'm so that I can live in New York City because I'm such an ocean person. I can swim for hours. Like everyone gets out and I'm still swimming. And we have a pool in our building, but we can't use it because it's connected to the building next door. And I just need to. And my favorite spa is literally swimming. Like there's different temperatured pools, and you go swimming. That's my spa, and then you get massage. So I understand. I connect with water.
Yeah, that sounds very nice. There's just something so relaxing about water. I mean, research has shown that if you live near bodies of water, you like literally live longer and happier.
I live near water, the Hudson. Does that?
They probably weren't specifically talking about the Hudson, but it is water.
It is what like I see water.
Right.
It has to help. Like I can see the water right now.
Oh, that is a nice view.
Yeah, and right there.
Oh, there you go. Oh,
Yeah.
you got plenty of water. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna live to be like 140.
But like my relatives in Hawaii, like they have a river in front of their house. Like and you just hear it like, oh, I can't wait to go to Hawaii. And when I go home, I just go to I'm from Austin, so I go to this place called Barton Springs every single time. Like I just went December 28th. December 28th. I went and I swam because it was warm enough to swim in Texas. But it's because we're 75% water, correct? 80 something? We literally are water, so.
It's true.
As I drink my water.
There you go. There you go. Yep, you're gonna live a long time. Long time. Um, we already, my next question is, do you ever think to yourself, maybe I'd just be better off with a 9 to 5, less work, less pressure? But I know we already thoroughly discussed that we would both be miserable.
Mm-mm. I don't know what my friend does every day. She doesn't like it either. She's like, I'm bored. I need something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, well, because technically, real estate can be 9 to 5 if you make it like that.
Sure.
But I don't have a boss at all. I don't have a boss in real estate or in I'm a business in real estate and I'm a business in dancing. So
yeah, I don't do bosses either. I don't no. I got issues with authority and stuff. It doesn't work for me. And also I always feel like I know better than the boss knows, so it just doesn't work.
See, I still have a mentor of like a real estate mentor because I don't know anything but I'm pretty good at real estate, which is weird because I'm a performer, but also we can be multiple things. You know what I mean? So I can't really box myself out on what I can do, but I'm pretty good at it because I get things done, which is weird. But I have a lot of help from a team leader, but it's not like he's on me. I literally just ask him what I need help with. So he's not there like saying, hey, doing your showings, do ads, blah, blah, blah,
Right. I feel like I'm pretty much the same way. Like I can take instruction and advice, and definitely, listening to Gary, I have no no thoughts in my head that I know more than Gary or anything like that.
But you do know some things that he might not.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, we all have our own unique experiences that prepare us for different situations even better.
Yeah, Gary doesn't know anything about dancing, so.
There you go. Yeah. There's that. Yeah, you do kind of have a connection with Gary with that because he is a performer in a way. I mean, not the same way you are, but like he has to put on a show to make sure people listen.
Yeah, he's an entertainer.
That's not me, Nat. Like even starting the podcast, like I was struggling hard with that, just putting myself out there. So it's it's kind of frustrating me when I hear how some people are just born ready to go like that. I think it's strange how different we all are.
Well, I feel like you're very easy to talk to, though.
Oh, thank you.
What's your sign?
Scorpio.
You're a Scorpio.
I am.
I connect with Scorpios, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Going forward, what are you hoping to accomplish? This is, again, I feel like we already touched on this too. Are you already where you want to be, or are you still on the path to reaching a bigger goal of yours?
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm nowhere near where I want to be.
That's what I like to hear.
Well, because if you think about it, does anyone really reach? I guess some people could reach where they want to be and they're fine. Like, I'm sure there are people in Hawaii. I just always go back because my cousins are they just seem like living, they're just like peaceful. And they're probably like, I'm just here. I'm living one with the ocean and I'm reached where I want to be, But like, are we ever, I don't know, reached our maximum potential? I don't think so.
I know personally for me, like if I set a goal and I'm like, this is what I want, and then I reach it, then I just make a new higher goal.
And for me, I do have specific ones, but mostly it's to be a consistently working artist, which is very difficult. Like to only pay your bills doing that, especially, which is why I'm doing more acting and singing. That will open up avenues because sometimes like the dancing does pay, but to make it as just a dancer, that's very difficult. Like modeling, I'm hoping to get signed to a modeling agency. Even though I'm 5'4", there are petite model agencies because I know it's about like your personality too. And dancers usually make good models and will sell the product because they know how to move. And that's just really fun to me on my free time. Literally, my friend's coming over tomorrow. She's staying with me for like 5 days because she's doing a rehearsal thing. But she does like makeup and loves photo shoots. And I'm like, we're literally going to apply to the modeling agencies together and we're going to do photo shoots. Like we do photo shoots for fun, both of us. So like might as well go for that too, because that makes actually a lot of money for just like a picture. Like it's crazy.
And now for some lighthearted questions that I asked Charlotte at the beginning of the podcast.
What's your favorite movie or one of your favorite movies?
My favorite movie of all time is About Time.
About Time? That was quick. That was a quick
Oh,
response.
I'm a very specific person. Um, yeah, it's with Rachel McAdams and this other ginger that I don't know his name. And I really like the movie because I think about it like all the time.
Yeah.
It's really it's like a gem. Like not many people know of it, even though
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't think I've heard of it before.
yeah, it's in 2013 it came out. So I saw it in high school. And basically I like it because I am not going to go through the whole thing. But it's
I
about
can
time.
see the excitement in your face.
Yeah, it's about time travel, which sounds weird, or because it's so realistic to me,
Yeah.
even though it sounds like it's not. So like it's about time travel, and basically the guy he wants to time travel. Basically, the people in his family when
Uh-huh.
they figure out that all the men in their family can time travel. So he uses it to find himself uh, a wife, basically. And then at the end of the movie, a reason why it stuck with me is something that his dad said was to live life normally, um, basically live the days twice. So you live life how you normally would in one day, and then the second day you go back. He basically goes back in time and then relives that exact day, but live it um, looking at all the details and just like basically trying to find the joy in actually living in it. Like
Huh.
he showed like mundane things, like he was on his way and he was just rushing and like he was looking at the girl at the counter, the checkout, and he didn't really make eye contact, but and the second time he went back, he like made eye contact and he was like nice and like there was someone on the train who was listening to music loud. And the first time he was like annoyed, and then the second time he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna rock out." So the movie just taught me like it's really I just always go off on this movie. So,
I was going to say, I feel like I'm getting a pitch for a script right now.
but basically the reason why I like it so much is because it shows you like you don't get people in life. We don't get that second time to go back in time, so you have to
Right.
live every day looking at the details in life rather than just going through it.
Right.
So at the end of the movie, I was like, "Oh my god, that's crazy!" Because I don't get to relive this day.
Sounds like a good message.
Yeah, it's so
I
good. Like,
yeah, I like when movies have deep messages like that.
yeah, and it made me think. So
I can tell you're very excited about it. I'm definitely gonna have to check it out at some point. Um, do you have a favorite band or a favorite song?
favorite, I was like Jonas Brothers. That's so no, but my favorite band.
Or
Oh,
musician, yeah, anything.
I like Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn
And
Hill.
yeah, and one of my favorite songs is "Sunday Candy" by Chance the Rapper.
I don't know
And
if I know that one.
Miley Cyrus is my number one. I have a candle with her face on it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'd like to work with her one day. Um, yeah, those are some of mine. It depends on because for music, it depends on the day that I'm in, the mood that I'm in.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm the same way. I've got like real weird. Like one day I'll be listening to Eminem nonstop, and the next day I'm listening to like Frank Sinatra or something.
yeah.
It's very strange how that happens. I feel like that doesn't happen to most people though. Most people, I feel like stay a little more focused. But what's your favorite thing to do when you're not working? You have a favorite hobby or?
On my free time, I do things that have to do with like I guess I just like sitting and watching Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
I like to play the piano.
Oh
And
yeah.
oh no, draw. I love to I do digital art.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that for?
Well, I've been drawing and like editing music videos since probably like seventh grade.
Oh wow.
So like I can do like edit music videos and stuff on Adobe or iMovie, and then I also do digital art on my iPad,
That's really
like
cool.
Photoshop and Illustrate, and I'm just still trying to learn that. But I draw on my iPad a lot, and it really helps take away my anxiety.
That makes sense. What kind of do you draw? Like something specific or just whatever you feel like?
Mostly it's I've done self portraits. I like to do things that are surrealism art. For some reason, I'm really drawn to that. And characters. I love animation. I love animation.
Do you?
I just went to the Met yesterday, and we saw the Disney exhibit that they have,
Oh yeah.
and the animation. I can literally just sit and learn about that all day.
No, that's awesome. I always find that stuff fascinating too. It's just so cool how they can bring things to life like that. That just exist in someone's brain.
Yeah, it takes a lot of hard work to animate.
For sure. I know. I feel like Pixar spends like a decade on each movie they work on. If you could go on vacation right now for free instead of having to talk to me anymore, where would you go?
Definitely Bali, and I am going.
Oh, signed, sealed, delivered. Look
I
at
was
that.
looking at that yesterday, looking at my trip that I'm gonna pay for and go on solo travel, but it's with a group. But you meet a group and your itinerary is taken care of. And then Hawaii, but I'm already going there too because my cousins live there. So I'm going there in October because my cousins are getting married.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
So you're just ready to go. World traveler.
Yeah, I've been to 26 countries already.
What? I haven't even been to 26 states.
More places in Europe than the United States.
Yeah. So, if you could tell the younger version of yourself one thing to help them on their journey to reach where you are today, personally or professionally, what would it be?
Oh, I'm gonna cry. Let's
It
see.
would be fantastic if you end up crying during this after all the cry talk.
I would say, can you repeat the question?
This is short. If you could tell the younger version of yourself one thing to help them on their journey to reach where you are today, personally or professionally, what would it be?
Oh, you are enough, I would say. And I'm still working on that. And you're worthy of everything that you want. That's what I would say. It's hard world, but you've got it and you're beautiful.
I think if we all said that to ourselves now, yeah, I mean we can't go back and say it, but if we all say that to ourselves at least every couple days, I think we'd all be a lot happier and more confident and yeah, just in a better mindset. So that is the lesson for all the listeners. You need to rewind, you need to record what she just said. I give you permission to duplicate my podcast here. You're gonna record what she just said, and you can start by playing it back to yourself, but then you need to say it to yourself at some point. So we'll work on that. Well, thank you so much for being on. I really had a great time talking with you.
Yes, thank you so much. I love these conversations.
Yeah, it's always we're all so different and yet so similar at the same time. I think anytime you're creating a human connection with someone else, it's very eye-opening. You always learn something new. So I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, that is it, everyone. We will see you next time. Thanks again for being on. Thank you so much for checking out this episode. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do consider subscribing and turning on notifications. You can even throw in like a like and a comment. That would be a huge help. And if you're just listening to the podcast on one of the podcast platforms, please do subscribe. And also, if you could leave a review, that would be a huge help and would really help us get out there more. Thank you.